What's up, guys? John here with Everyday Secure, back with another video, and today we have a little bit of a special treat. So what we're going to be talking about, as you could probably see from the beautiful abused slash beat up box, is we're going to be discussing a Beretta pistol today. Now, this Beretta in particular is not going to be your typical 92 or even the Nano, which is their polymer slash steel slide handgun that has been pretty popular over the last 5-6 years. It's their 9mm, and it's a pretty nice everyday carry gun for ultra concealability, really precise shooting. It's got great trigger. So what we're going to be talking about today is one of my personal favorites, not just with Beretta, and handguns in general. So this is the PX4 Storm, compact 9mm. So this is my baby. This right here is one beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Italian firearm, as you can tell by how nice and clean and precise and all the lines. It's like a Ferrari of a pistol. So you could definitely tell this is an Italian-made firearm right here. So, and aside from that, if you couldn't tell by the looks, it says it right here, made in Italy, right next to the Beretta logo, which I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. I don't know if I can get that to focus. Probably not. But yeah, it says Beretta right here, and then it says made in Italy right next to that. So this is going to be your double action, single action firearm right here. This is going to have the decocker slash safety right here. And this is what these tabs are. That's what they do. So this is a F model right here. They also come in what they call a G model, which, if I remember correctly, that is only decocker, no safety on that model. This model has a safety, which I preferred in the beginning. As time went on, I don't really care for it. The more and more I think about it, and the more and more I use the firearm in training scenarios and going training classes and so on and so forth with fast draw, all that good stuff. It's not something you really want to have to think about when you're in a situation where it's life or death and you got to pull your firearm to protect your life, and you go to draw it, and guess what? That is clicked down, and you pull that trigger and nothing happens. So it's not something me personally, myself, I wanted to deal with. When I first got this firearm, I didn't even know they offered different models for decocker only or decocker slash safety. I did not know that. So I bought this one, and it doesn't really bother me because all I do is, instead of keeping the safety on, I just literally take the safety off and it is ready for fire. The only difference is, instead of having a nice crisp short 3 to 4 pound trigger in the single action, it's going to have the 9 to 10 pound trigger and the double action, which I don't mind personally because I appendix carry, and if I'm going to be putting this in my genital area where I have a very important part of my body, I prefer a trigger to be pretty heavy, and that's exactly what this PX4 Storm has right here. So it's a beautiful setup for every day, appendix carry, holster carry, all that good stuff. So it made me very interested in this firearm right here. And I gotta say, I've shot this thing probably 1,000 to 1,500 rounds. It shoots beautifully. I mean, it is a beautiful, beautiful shooting gun. Very clean, very crisp trigger pull. Even in, doesn't matter if it's double action or single action, in both, it's very smooth, very nice and precise. It has, a little bit of take up on the trigger, as you can tell, but not much. And when it breaks, I mean, it's beautiful. I love it. So this one right here has your typical 3-dot sights. Nothing too fancy, but they work, and that's all that matters. So supposedly Beretta claims that they are a glowing 3-dot white sight, which they have to be charged according to Beretta. I don't know if that's true, because I've personally had these under a light for a couple minutes, and then I go into a pitch black room and I can't see them. So I don't know if maybe these are just bad sights, or if they're not really what Beretta claims. I don't know. I don't really care. I usually keep a gun pistol mounted light anyways on the guns, so I have it off for this video because that's going to be a whole nother video that I wanted to go over into detail in regards to the light that I have and all that good stuff. So I took it off just for this video so I can show it in just its truest format, which is going to be this right here. And this is what you're going to get when you buy the gun. You're not going to get it with a pistol mounted light in the front. So, but yeah, going back to the actual firearm, it's beautiful gun. The quality is just not, it's just on par with some of the most expensive handguns out there in the market. It's got, like I said, the polymer frame mixed in with the stainless steel slide that has their Beretta coating on there, which is pretty decent. I'm already getting a little bit of holster wear, I guess you can call it, which I do have a custom Kydex holster for this gun. Right here on the very edge, I don't know if you're not gonna probably be able to see that, but it's very faint, but it's wearing right here. The black's fading away. Same with on the other side right here, it's starting to fade away too. I do get a few scuffs and all that stuff on the slide itself, which, you know, at the end of the day, this is a tool. That's what it is. It's a tool. This is not supposed to look pretty forever. You do want to keep it in good shape and keep up on it, but it's a tool, so it's going to get scratched and nicked and yada yada yada. Hopefully not dropped. I don't ever want to drop a firearm, not because of the cosmetic problem that's going to happen, but because of the fact that you're dropping a fully loaded firearm, you know, 4 feet off the ground with bullets in the chamber. So speaking of bullets in the chamber, this gun is completely empty. It does have a loaded mag, but the actual gun itself, I'll go ahead and lock that back so we can check that out. It's going to be kind of hard to see because it's all black on black in there, but no bullets are in this firearm. It was checked before I went on camera. So, like I said, I just kept the mag in there just so you could see how it looks with the magazine. It is a loaded mag, so I'm obviously not going to put it in there and rack it with the loaded mag. But overall function is beautiful. I mean, the way this slide, I mean, you can hear that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I mean, could do that for days. It's so smooth and so nice. All the other features of this gun, very nice quality. Got both sides. You have your ambidextrous slide lock on both sides, as you can tell on my thumb here, and then my pointing finger on this side. Those are both slide locks. Like I said, you have your decocker / safety, which is right here. You can see the little red dot. And then also on this side, you have the same thing, another decocker / safety. So ambidextrous, which is beautiful, and I'll go ahead and decock that so you can see what happens. Once you decock it, I don't know if you saw, the trigger goes back to normal, the hammer depresses or goes back down as well too. So very scary, very sketchy the first time you do it, especially if you've never had a double action, single action firearm before with a hammer. Compared to most striker fired firearms, they don't do that. So you're not dropping a hammer on a loaded firearm with a bullet in the chamber like you do on these these firearms. So in the first, couple weeks, it is a sketchy thing to do. It does sketch you out way too much, but once you do it a few times, it doesn't bother you as much anymore. So it's a cool feature though, because put the magazine in, and we're going to be very careful obviously. You put the magazine in, you rack the slide, there is a round going into that chamber, okay? So now this gun is live, ready to go. Hammer is pulled back, cocked back. So all I have to do is pull that trigger, and I get my 3.5, 4 pound of trigger pull on there, crisp, clean, beautiful, and it will stay in this format every single shot after that. So awesome the way it feels and shoots. But here's the thing, the benefits to a decocker. So you cock this gun, it's in live action, it's ready to go. Pull that trigger, it will fire. But let's say you cock it because you just want one in the chamber, but you're not trying to shoot the gun right now. All you gotta do is hit this decocker right here, and don't forget, there's a live round in here right now. You won't be able to see it, but there's a loaded chamber indicator right in this area. It's got a little tiny red dot on there. You can't really see that, but to the naked eye, you can see it just fine in real life. But decocker, literally push down on these tabs on the sides, and that will disengage this hammer. So once you put that down, Hammer's disengaged. Now it's back to double action mode, which means it's got a way heavier trigger pull in there, and this gun will not go off, and the hammer is in a safe position. It's not going to get snagged on you or anything when you go to undraw this or draw this weapon. So we'll go ahead and get that live round out of here, even though. So we're clear again. No bullets in this firearm. So yeah, decocker again. It's on both sides. I just decocked it with the opposite side. Got it. Show you that again. So you can tell by the trigger and the hammer right now. If I get this out, it's going to decock it. It's going to put the trigger back into normal position, and it's going to put the hammer back. Going over the trigger pull real quick. Once again, it's empty. Just took the live round out of there. So I'm going to go ahead and do a double action trigger pull. So you can kind of see, I'm going to do it with my other hand, so you can kind of get an idea here. So, get a nice break. And about right there. So, pretty long trigger pull. If I use my other finger like this, it's a lot easier. So, it's a pretty good amount of pull that is needed on there. It's a pretty long trigger pull, but like I said, with this going in my appendix area, that's what I prefer. I want my firearm to have this long and this heavy of a trigger pull if I'm going to place this in an area where my private parts are at. So that assures me there's no way this trigger is going to go off unless something 9 pounds or more is able to get in here and yank on this thing. So I'll put it into single action just so you can get the ideal. So now we're in single action right now. Hammer is cocked back. Trigger is obviously a lot further back, and you'll see little bit of movement in there. Not a whole lot. Got a little bit of play, but right here we're gonna get to the back of the wall, about right there, and we're gonna get the break. So do that again. Like I said, it's got a little bit of wiggle in there in the beginning. Once you get it about right here, that's where your break's at. But you can tell, definitely a good amount of wiggle in there when it's in single action. And you get your nice crisp break right there. Beautiful trigger pull in my opinion. I prefer this. A lot of people may not prefer this. It's going to be completely in regards to what you prefer. So it's going to depend on what you prefer as your daily carry firearm and all that good stuff. Like I said, this is what I prefer. Works best for me. I'm very familiar with double action, single action firearms. I like to have a hammer. I don't mind all the internal guts of a striker fired firearm, but that's just not what I prefer personally. And it's all preference at the end of the day. That's what a firearm is, and that's what your tool is. It's all a preference. So once again, do you want to just kind of go over the looks? I know it is a tool, like I just said, but it is a beautiful tool. I mean, it's just the machining and the serrations and everything. Very, very, very nice. Very, very Italian-like. The actual grip of this firearm, not bad at all too. It's got some pretty good aggressive texture in the polymer, so it's good for your hands when you go to grip it. It leaves a good impression in your hands, so you're not going to slide around all over the place. They do make different back straps that you can replace this one with. It comes with 2 other ones. This is the medium size, so it fits perfect in my hands. I have a semi-medium to big hand, so all I needed was that, and it gives you a great grip on this firearm. I can hold it even without a magazine in this gun, as you can tell, empty, no magazine. Even with that, I could still get a good firing grip on this gun. My hand's still clear all the way. So, like I said, I've shot about 1,500 rounds to this thing, and I absolutely love it. Shoots phenomenal. And then, of course, you got your biggest feature, which is the barrel of this firearm. This is a rotating barrel, which is very hard to show that on camera, but once the slide comes back, it rotates, as you can tell. See how when the slide comes back, it starts rotating? Now, Beretta's statement on that is it's meant for the recoil, and it's a 9mm, so 9mm don't have a ton of recoil, but every little bit makes a difference. And that rotating barrel in here, by far, makes a difference. I mean, it's one of my favorite best shooting 9mm guns I've ever had, and I'm talking out of my 365 Sig Sauer. I've owned a Smith & Wesson Shield M&P. This is even my brother's H&K. He thinks this shoots better than his H&K, which is a pretty big compliment considering H&K's price point. This gun brand new retails for about $650, $700 depending on where you're buying it at, and I got mine on sale for about $500, which I was okay with. Like I said, this is the compact. It's not the subcompact. This isn't the full size. This is the compact. It's a perfect carry, everyday carry size, and these are 15-round magazines that come with it. So plenty of bullets in this gun. I mean, with a 15-round magazine, completely flush, has no extension sticking out of it, completely flush with the base of this gun, and you're getting 16 shots in this bad boy. So 16 rounds of 9mm are going to be in this gun, which is awesome. And if you want to get a little crazy, you could always go to their 20-round magazine, which you are going to have a little bit of a gap at the bottom in between the frame and the actual magazine itself. Me personally, I don't mind it, considering that with this magazine in here, you're talking 21 rounds in this pistol, which is pretty wild to have 21 rounds in this pistol. So in an everyday carry pistol, 21 rounds, I don't know many other guns in a compact size that can hold 20 plus rounds of 9mm. So very cool that you can have that. I prefer the 20-round mag because it gives you a little bit more grabbing room. It gives you an extra finger or two down there, so it's a little bit more grabbing room, and it feels a little bit more comfortable in my opinion. And plus, I just like the fact of knowing that I have 21 rounds in this firearm. So just wanted to give you a quick video on my opinion and my experience with this bad boy. It's a great firearm. If you plan on owning one or getting one, I highly recommend it. You can get them all over the place for pretty reasonably priced. This gun is worth every bit of $600, $700. I've never had an issue with it. It shoots any type of ammo. It does not matter what type it is. Fires everything, and it's a beautiful gun. Awesome everyday carry. A little bit on the heavy side, but if you're holding 21 rounds in a 9mm, I don't care what you have. It's going to be heavy. Now, this is for the faint of heart because it's a double action, single action firearm. I know this is kind of a dying firearm in the industry. Everyone wants a striker fired firearm now, which is fine. I have plenty of striker firearm guns too, and I like them. I do prefer them most of the time, but most of the other times I prefer double action, single action. So that's just my opinion. A lot of people will agree, a lot of people will disagree, you know? It just depends on what you want. So everyone's going to shoot different with different type of firearms, different size firearms, different caliber firearms, different type of actions, you know, single action, double action, striker fired, all that stuff. So it all depends on what you want. Go to the range, test out a few different types. I always tell my good friends and family, go to the range, rent a double action, single action, go, and then also rent a striker fired gun and rent a few different types if you can, so you can kind of compare and, you know, contrast and all that stuff. Because half of the people might say, ooh, I only like the hammer because of the safetiness of it, because of the heavy trigger pull. I know I can appendix carry it and never have to worry about that trigger going off by accident like a striker fire could possibly happen because they have a way lighter trigger pull. But then you might get the other half that says, ooh, no, I hate this. That's too heavy of a trigger pull. I do not want even a hammer sticking off the back of my gun because that can snag on something or something can get in there and get in between the firing pin and blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, there's a lot of different do's and don'ts and what people want and what people won't want. So that's why you got to go test it yourself. My opinion is my opinion. I personally love this firearm. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Please hit that like button and subscribe. I'll have plenty more videos coming in the near future. Basically going to be on your flashlights, firearms accessories, all that good stuff. So stay tuned. Catch you on the next one.